My stepmother trapped my dad to steal his property. My hidden cameras captured everything and saved our family's future. My name is Alex, and from the moment my father introduced us to Clara, I felt a cold chill in my heart. My mother had passed away years ago, and my dad was lonely, vulnerable to the polished charm and calculated affection of a woman 20 years his junior. I warned him. I told him her smiles didn't reach her eyes, and that her 2 adult children, who suddenly became so interested in his life, were circling like vultures. He called me cynical. He said, "Son, you just want me to be alone. Let an old man have some happiness." He married her 6 months later, and our nightmare began. The change was gradual. Clara and her kids, Mark and Diana, slowly isolated him from his old friends. They took control of his schedule, his social life, and eventually his finances. They spoke of protecting him, but it felt more like a siege. I was pushed to the outskirts, the jealous son who couldn't accept his father's new family. But my suspicion was a fire that wouldn't go out. So I took action. Under the guise of installing a new smart home security system, I placed hidden cameras and microphones in the living room, the study, and the dining room. My father thought it was for his safety. I knew it was for his salvation. The evidence started piling up. I watched clips of Clara subtly undermining my dad's confidence, telling him he was too forgetful to manage his own affairs. I heard Mark and Diana planting seeds of doubt about me, suggesting I was only after his money. But the breaking point came when I captured the full, horrifying plan. I was reviewing footage from the living room. My dad was looking tired and confused. Clara sat next to him, her voice a venomous whisper. Clara said, "John, you're so stressed. All these property documents, these bills. It's too much for you. Let me handle it. Just sign this power of attorney. It's just a formality so I can help you." My father, looking worn down and weary, mumbled in agreement. But that was just the beginning. A few days later, I captured the core conspiracy. Clara was in the study with her children. Mark said, "The power of attorney is the key. Once you have that, we transfer the deed of the house into your name, Mom. It's clean. He'll never know what happened." Diana said, "We need to do it before he has a lucid moment and changes his mind. We'll tell him it's a tax document." "He's so gullible now," Clara said. "Once the property is mine, I file for divorce. He'll have nothing. He's a burden anyway. We'll have the money and be done with him." I felt a rage so pure it was almost calm. They weren't just gold diggers. They were predators planning to leave my father destitute and heartbroken. I knew I had to move before they did. The day before they planned to have him sign the property transfer documents, I acted. I had a key to the house. While they were out, I went into the study. I found the forged property transfer deed in the drawer, ready for his signature. My hands didn't even shake. I took it. In its place, I put an identical-looking document I had created. A transfer deed that gifted the property not to Clara, but to me, his only biological son. I made sure the formatting was perfect. The next day, as planned, I watched the live feed from the hidden camera in the study. Clara sat my dad down, pouring him a strong drink. Clara said, "Just sign here, honey. It's for the tax reassessment. The city needs it." My dad, looking disoriented and trusting, picked up the pen. He scrawled his signature on the document I had planted. A week later, the official copy arrived at my apartment. I was now the legal owner of my father's house, his most valuable asset. The very next day, Clara filed for divorce. The scene at the house was chaos. Clara was screaming, telling my dad he was a fool and that he had nothing left. It was then that I walked in, with 2 police officers and a folder of evidence. I said, "He has everything, Clara, because I have everything." In the ensuing courtroom battle, I provided the judge with everything. The HD videos of them plotting, the audio of them calling my father a burden, the damning footage of her coercing him to sign the power of attorney. I presented the original property transfer deed they had forged, alongside the one I had substituted, proving their intent to commit fraud. The judge didn't just rule in our favor, he condemned them from the bench. Clara, Mark, and Diana were arrested in the courtroom on charges of conspiracy, fraud, and elder abuse. The media was waiting outside. I had provided the evidence to a trusted journalist, and their faces were splashed across the news as the monsters who tried to destroy a kind old man. After the verdict, my father turned to me. The fog of manipulation had lifted from his eyes, replaced by a profound, aching clarity. Tears streamed down his face. He pulled me into a tight, desperate hug, the kind he hadn't given me since I was a boy. My father said, "My boy, my brilliant, brave boy. I didn't listen. I'm so sorry. You saved me. I am so proud of you. You were the only one who truly loved me all along." In that moment, the years of fighting, the secret recordings, the legal battle, it was all worth it. I had gotten my father back, but their greed wasn't so easily defeated. From prison, Clara and her children launched a vicious counter-lawsuit, claiming I had manipulated my father and entrapped them. The legal war that followed was even more brutal, testing the limits of my evidence and my resolve. If you want to see how I fought their final, desperate attempt to destroy our family, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Tap the notification bell, because the final chapter in this battle for justice is the most shocking one yet. The most shocking one yet.